We are still Financial Inclusion for Women Empowerment G20 conference. In this conference, it was not only the corporate, the business sector, but we also had the academic part of the conference. And one of the people who's also part of the organizing committee who presented their research work is Dr. Bridget, who I'll allow to introduce herself and tell us also her role in this conference.
My name is Dr. Bridget Irene, a senior lecturer from the Montfort University, United Kingdom, and I was invited to be part of the organizers of this conference to handle the academic stream of the conference. So my role is reviewing the papers that were submitted for the conference and choosing the best papers that are going to be presented in the conference, as well as looking for outlets for output of these papers.
So, can you please tell us more about your research? Because you said you presented two papers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So we did present two papers that we've been working on for a while. The first paper was bridging the funding gap for women entrepreneurs. And so we took our data from seven sub-Saharan African countries: Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Mali, Tanzania, Malawi, and Zambia. And so we're looking at what are the strategies, what are the barriers that the women there are facing, and what are the strategies that we can use to bridge the gap. And so we looked at some of the findings which we saw was that the institutional willingness. So a lot of the barriers have to do with institutions being unwilling to support or not having the capacity because of this landscape. These countries are patriarchal countries and will have about views of women and what they should be doing. So they don't have access to lands, they don't have properties that they can use as collateral, and the institutions don't have a lot of confidence in their abilities to turn around the monies that they've given to them. So we've seen that lack of institutional willingness is a big factor. And also in terms of digital adoption, businesses are evolving. Okay, so only businesses that are able to adopt digital technologies will thrive. But women don't have the capacity, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the finance to be able to do that because adoption is expensive. It's not easy. So it has to be opportunity cost for the women. Do I invest this much money and how quickly can I get it back? Or is it even worth investing this money to make my business digital or just carry on running my business the way I'm running it? Because in most cases, it's for survival. And so they don't digital adoption is not in the offing for them. So a lot has to be done by the government and by the institutions to bring the women up to speed with digital technologies, how to use them, how to adopt them into their businesses, and also support them in the process of adoption. So that's the first paper. The second paper, we're looking at the roles that these financial institutions can play. And we had data from two countries, Nigeria and South Africa. So the idea of the paper was to talk to the women entrepreneurs themselves and then talk to the financial institutions. We were able to talk to the women entrepreneurs, but not the institutions. So we collected 200 data, and we did find that one, there was lack of trust. The women don't trust the financial institutions to have their best interest at heart. They don't trust what they're saying. So it's a case of between the devil and the deep blue sea for them. They need the finance, and so they're willing to take it even though they don't trust the institutions, even though they don't believe the institutions are there for their best interest. So the institutions have to do a lot to bridge that gap by building trust between them and the women and providing gender sensitive packages that can deal with that issue of trust particularly.
I want to go to the panel before.
There has to be better way of communicating all of these initiatives so that more women who need the help, who need the support, will be made aware of them.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Any last words or advice before we close our session?
I think I want to close by talking about some of the discussions we had in our session this afternoon. So one of the key things, we're talking about culture. Culture plays a huge role in hindering women or inhibiting women and limiting their potentials. But then what do we do about culture? The issue here is that a lot of people don't take responsibility. We need to change the narrative, and I believe it starts from the home. How do we train our children? How do we train our girls? Do we train them to be confident and know what their rights are and demand their rights? Or do we train them or socialize them to think that the best achievement they can gain in life is to be married and have children? So that's where lies the problem. If we can change from the home how we train our children and make them aware of what is out there, the opportunities that are available out there, then we'll begin to see the cultural change. And that's where we really need to go, because culture is playing a huge role in hindering women.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Are you a supervisor? I'm not thinking of joining your team, your research.
And so we meet monthly, we collaborate, we do research, a lot of areas of intersection of our research. And we're hoping that in our own little area we can bring change. It's one person at a time. If we all think that the change must come from the top, from the government, no change. But one person at a time, and then we can bring the change that we need.
Thank you so much, Doctor. It is the Financial Inclusion for Women Empowerment G20 meeting in Sun City.